Excuse me, could you help me? A polite way to ask someone for assistance. Excuse me, could you help me? Excuse me, could you help me? I asked the penguin guarding my giant suitcase. Where is the nearest restroom? A direct and polite question for finding a nearby restroom. Where is the nearest restroom? Where is the nearest restroom? I asked the polite robot at the castle. How much is this? A common question used to ask the price of an item. How much is this? How much is this? I asked, pointing to a hat shaped like a pineapple. Can I pay by card? A question used to check whether card payment is accepted. Can I pay by card? Can I pay by card? I asked the beach shop run by 3 serious crabs. Could I have the menu, please? A polite request for a menu at a restaurant or cafe. Could I have the menu, please? Could I have the menu, please? I asked while the menu tried to hide under the table. I'd like to order this. A polite way to tell restaurant staff which item you want. I'd like to order this. I'd like to order this, I said, pointing to a pancake taller than the waiter. Could I have the check, please? A polite request for the bill at a restaurant. Could I have the check, please? Could I have the check, please? I asked after the spoon finished its speech. I have a reservation. A phrase used to tell staff that you booked in advance. I have a reservation. I have a reservation, I told the hotel clerk, who was a very organized owl. I'd like to check in. A standard phrase used when arriving at a hotel. I'd like to check in. I'd like to check in, I said as my suitcase politely bowed to the receptionist. What time is checkout? A question used to confirm when you must leave your hotel room. What time is checkout? What time is checkout? I asked while the alarm clock packed its own bag. Could you call a taxi for me? A polite request asking someone to arrange a taxi. Could you call a taxi for me? Could you call a taxi for me? I asked the concierge as a tiny elephant waited outside. How do I get to the station? A useful question for asking directions to a station. How do I get to the station? How do I get to the station? I asked a squirrel holding an enormous map. Does this bus go to the city center? A question used to confirm a bus destination. Does this bus go to the city center? Does this bus go to the city center? I asked the driver, who was wearing a crown. One ticket, please. A short, polite phrase for buying one ticket. One ticket, please. One ticket, please, I said to the machine, and it printed a ticket for the moon. Could you take a picture for me? A polite request asking someone to take your photo. Could you take a picture for me? Could you take a picture for me? I asked as a giraffe posed behind the fountain. Is there free Wi-Fi here? A question used to ask whether free wireless internet is available. Is there free Wi-Fi here? Is there free Wi-Fi here? I asked the cafe parrot, who nodded like an expert. Could you speak more slowly? A polite request asking someone to reduce their speaking speed. Could you speak more slowly? Could you speak more slowly? I asked the tour guide, whose words were racing on tiny bicycles. Could you say that again? A polite request asking someone to repeat what they said. Could you say that again? Could you say that again? I asked after the statue whispered the directions. I'm looking for this address. A phrase used when asking for help finding a specific address. I'm looking for this address. I'm looking for this address, I said while the map kept turning itself upside down. Is it safe to walk there? A question used to check whether walking to a place is safe. Is it safe to walk there? Is it safe to walk there? I asked the friendly dragon at the information desk.